Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So, after learning about that, how you can implement up the queues with the help of the list, now we will be moving on to the second method, and I'll just show you out that what was the second method, and that was collections.dq. Right, so from my collections module, I'll be using the dq function for my queues over here for the implementation of the queues. Right, so I'll just put up the topic over here, that is implementation using collections.dq. Right, this is the respective topic that we will be starting over here today. Right, so now as I told you, queue in Python that can be even implemented out with the help of your dq class, right? So with the help of that dq class, you can implement up the queues over here, right? And that particular method comes up with your collection module, right? So now when to prefer dq over the list, right? What's the scenario, what's the case where you should prefer the dqs over the list? So dq is preferred over the list in the case when you actually quickly need to append or pop the operations, right? So from the both the ends of the container, or I'll say from both the ends of your queue, whenever you want to very quickly append or pop up the elements, in that respective case, your dq works out. Even in that respective case, I'll just write that over here. dq, it helps you out with the time complexity, which is big O of 1. Okay, big O of 1. So it helps you out with the time complexity of the big O of 1 for appending and the pop operations, right? And as in list was using which time complexity, I told in the last video, it was using big O of n, right? So big O of 1 and big O of n, those two are compared. So whenever you want some quicker things to be worked upon, big O of 1 will be helping you out at that particular place, right? So instead of here we instead of nq and dq, we use up the append and the pop left function. Okay, so here what we use append and pop left function. These two functions are used of append and the pop left, right? So done. And now we'll be moving towards the practical implementation for the same, right? This was what I was having for you to tell about this implementation of the dq. Now we'll be seeing up some practical stuff, so it might be more clear to us. Okay, so first of all, as I told you, this dq method, it comes with the collections modules, right? So from collections, I'm going to import up this dq. Now collections doesn't need to be installed into your device. The reason is that it is the module. Modules always come pre-installed with the Python programming language. Okay, so you do not need to install up any of the respective modules which you have up over here in the Python. They automatically comes installed, right? So that is how the things work out. Great. Getting down, I'll be initializing up my queue. So let's say q is equal to, and I'll take the q. Okay, that's done. Now I'll add in the elements to my queue. So q dot append, right? And let's say I'm going to add some numbers. 1. Okay, q dot append, I'll be adding 2, and the q dot append, and at this time I'll be adding 3. So 1, 2 and 3, these 3 elements I have been added up into my queue, right? So what I'll do, I'll just try to print up my initial queue over here. So print, and it's the time for writing up. 1 second, I'll just put in the double inverted quotations, and it's gonna be like initial queue, right? So that is a respective I'll say the thing which is required, and I've tried to simply try to print in the queue variable. Now if I try running up this over here at this particular place, so see what has happened, my initial queue, now this time we have declared the dq, so that is the reason we are getting dq over here, and inside that my elements have been added, which is 1, 2 and 3. As we wrote up over here 1, 2 and 3, those all the 3 elements have been added up at this particular place, right? Now what if I will just try to remove in those elements. So print, I'll just print in that removing the items, let's say. after removing the items. Now I'll start printing using the print function q dot, and function which I told was pop left, right? So pop left, and putting the bracket over here, right? Now when I'm going to run this app over at this particular place, see what happened. From my left hand side, it had started popping up my elements. So from the left, I was having the first element as 1, right? So it started removing up the items from my left place, from my left phase, right? So this is how it works out. So DQ 1, 2, 3. So the items have been removed out from DQ. The first element was 1, right? Which was present at to the left position. Next, if I again write it out over here as print q dot pop left and the brackets like that, and if I run that over here once again, so see, now 2 has been removed up from this particular place, right? 2 has been removed up from this particular place. So 1, and then it goes over as your 2. And now I'll be writing up here the third one, that is print q dot pop left, q dot pop left, right? And if I run this again over here once, so my third element has also been removed, 1, 2 and 3, right? That's what has been done up over here. Now if I try printing and checking my final q, so I'll be resulting an empty one, because all the elements which I have appended, which I have added with the help of the append function, all of those respectives I have removed out from there, right? So once I have removed up all the elements from that particular place, now this queue is completely empty, and that is the reason I am getting up over here as nothing, only a simple empty queue, right? So this is the method how do you use up this DQ function for adding and removing the items. Adding was your append function, removing was your pop left function. So this is how these things works up over there. This is the method how do you actually use up all of these things, and about the initializations, about the removing and everything for the same, right? So I hope I am pretty much clear with the same things to you over the same, that how are these things working, and how do these DQ method as well works out. So my second implementation of the queue, that is collections.dq, that has completely been finished up over here, right? So next implementation I'll be discussing out with you into the next further videos, which will be seeing out. So this is how, and I even told you scenario when to use list and when to use the DQ, and for what reasons DQ is being used up. So that you are pretty much clear with. Right, so I hope I am pretty much clear with all the stuff which I have discussed up over here with all of you. So if you have enjoyed the video, do like this video, do share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe out my channel. We'll see you there in the next video.